All right, guys. Today is the day I'm going to start tearing into this thing. My grandmother's brother, so my uncle, he gave this to me. He built this back in, I think he said 84, it would have been 85. My dad's brother, he painted this airbrushing when he was in middle school. Been in the family basically since it was new. I didn't even know about this bike until I was probably 17, 18, getting ready to ship off to basic training. And I was looking at photos with my grandmother, and I saw a picture of this motorcycle back in the day. I asked her whose bike it was.
It's a chopper, baby.
Whose chopper is this?
And she says, oh, that's Uncle Ronnie's chopper. Uncle Matt painted it. I said, oh wow, I wonder if he still got it. And sure enough, I actually, like the week before I shipped out of basic training, I think, he came up from Florida. We just got to talking, and I asked him if he still had this, and he said, oh yeah, I still got it. You know, they're gonna bury me with it, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, if you ever want to sell it, you know, let me know. A couple years go by, I ended up getting out of the military after 6 years. Took a job up in Indiana, and we'd kind of been back and forth over the past several years. And he told me if I wanted it, I just got to come get it. So, again, Uncle Ronnie, Aunt Nancy, can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to getting this thing back on the road, hopefully this weekend. So, yeah, but that's basically the backstory. So, the plan is, we're going to change a few things, bring it up to the times a little bit. I hope my Uncle Ronnie doesn't care. Probably going to change out the handlebars. Got those coming. Gonna change out the air cleaner. The chrome's pretty well pitted up on it. Gonna change out the whole housing and everything. Some slight little changes, some new grips. Probably, I think I'm leaning towards taking the saddlebags off. Not sure. I've never had a bike with saddlebags. All mine have been like hardtail choppers and stuff like that, so I never had a bike with saddlebags. Probably gonna axe those, put them on the shelf. Probably gonna take the windshield off. I had to order one of these, so that's coming, the new trim piece. So I don't know if that's gonna be in or not, but we got fresh fluids. The starter is really weak on it, so we're probably gonna change out the starter. We are gonna change out the starter. I got it sitting in the house, so new fluids, changed the starter out. Carb got rebuilt right before he gave it to me, so hopefully that's all still good. It's got a Mikuni on it. I think he told me that these are branch cylinder heads. It topped up pretty good. It's got some cams in it. Hopefully it's as fast as I hope it is. But we got new tires, tubes, so those I'm gonna take those off, send them over to my buddy. He's gonna mount those for me. Clean it up really good. Probably gonna bleed the brakes and just put some new fluid in there, and you know, just clean her up a little bit because she is dirty. Got new primary gaskets because to take the starter off is kind of a pain. I got new solenoid on the way. So this is Wednesday night, so I'm gonna try and have this all pretty much done by Saturday. We'll see how that goes, but it's got, looks like good plug wires. The plugs look pretty new. I highly doubt they have that many miles on it. I think he pretty much stopped riding this. Yeah, I think he kind of kept the tags up till 06 on it, but I think he had told me he kind of stopped riding it in the early 2000s, so about that time frame. So it really hasn't been on the road in, 20 years. So the tires, they're not bad, but they are starting to dry rot, so you know what? We'll just swap them out. Hopefully, I'm trying to trickle charge my battery back to life. I bought that like 2 years ago when I first got it. It does run, or it did run, about 2 years ago. So that was the last time I fired it up. And yes, you can kick start it, but even with a dead battery, it doesn't like to start. So we're gonna try and trickle charge that back to life. But tonight, I want to pull both the wheels off of it, and hopefully my buddy can have these swapped out for the weekend. Well, that was easy. So brake pads look great, rotor looks good. It's so nice to have a chain drive rather than a belt. No taking the swing arm off. It's an 84 Softail, first year Evo. I think technically they made the kickstart until 85, but it may have been 84. So, but I think it's definitely first year Evo. But I do think they made the kickstart all the way up to 85, maybe even 86. I'm not positive, but anyhow, it's been lowered. I can't remember exactly what he told me about how he lowered it, but there was some fabricating involved with that because he's nice and short like me. But yeah, it looks like it's got some fancy shocks up in there. I don't think they're air ride. Yeah, there's no airlines. But yeah, there's the plate welding, and I can't remember exactly what he did through here, but yeah, something like that. But it's nice and low for a short guy like me. So now we're going to set this on some blocks. We'll strap down the back, and we'll take the front wheel off, which is a little bit more of a pain, but it shouldn't be too bad. And just like that, we got both wheels off. There they are. Get new tires on them. Probably also gonna pull that check ball out and make sure that it's all good in there. Clean it up because it's probably gonna puke oil, but I think these have a sump drain plug on them. Maybe not. Maybe not. We're probably just gonna puke oil everywhere, so that'll be great. I was able to slap a new set of brake pads in this thing. Got the front wheel. I still need to tighten the axle down and tighten these clamps up here. So she still needs a good polishing, but we'll get to that in due time. Hopefully today goes well, and today's Saturday, so hopefully we pretty much have it done today.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Main thing I want to do to this is get that starter out. The starter turned over really slow. Would eventually start, but we may have to go to a high torque starter. I don't know. We'll see how the new one does. I don't know the bike well enough to know. I got some other trinketries that we're going to be doing, but first I want to get this front wheel finished up. Then we're going to start, we'll jack it up a little higher, and then we're going to start draining fluids and go from there. I also have should be in today, a new check valve, because if I remember right, this thing pukes a bunch of oil when it first starts up after it's been sitting for a while, so we'll address that. But hopefully today's order will be starter solenoid, full servicing, primary gasket, all that good stuff, new battery, new air cleaner, new set of bars, some new grips. I got an air cleaner, obviously the back wheel. So I got the primary drained. There's just a drain plug right down in there. Now I'm trying to see what I can see here. It's really hard and I don't have a lot of great lights in here, so I apologize, but I'm trying to figure out how to get the starter out, and that's going to be our kind of next. I'm probably going to have to take this exhaust pipe off to slide the starter out, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So yeah, I can see one mount bolt in there, but I think I'm gonna have to pull that pipe down out of the way to see what we're working with here. So that's something I wasn't expecting, so I should have, because the pipe is literally blocking the starter, so I should have expected that, but I didn't think about it. So anyhow, that's that. All right, so the pipe is off, and I got a couple of my power cables disconnected. Make sure your battery's disconnected and all that malarkey. There's no battery in this bike, so no big deal for us. But I'm looking at how to try and get this off, and it looks like there's maybe 2 bolts, which are going to be really hard to see on the camera, so I'm probably not even going to show you, but maybe if I get it out, I'll show you what we got. But it looks like basically there's one here, and then there's going to be one on the underside, on the other side, right around there. So we're going to replace this, so we're going to start pulling this off now. So you know, take a good picture if you're a little unsure about where you think everything's supposed to go. Make sure you know how to put it back together. So like I said, we got a new one of these, so we're going to go ahead and replace that. But first we're going to pull this out and see if we can see that other other bolt, if we can even get to it without taking the oil tank out, because I fear that this oil tank may be coming out. So, good news, bad news situation. New starter, old starter, not the same, but good news, this is extremely easy to pull out. You just take these two long bolts, they stick all the way through, and just bolt on up in there. Super easy. I got the right starter coming, but it won't be until Monday, so yeah, no harm, no foul. But so it's not gonna run today, but I can do just about everything else, I think. So we'll get started on maybe the air cleaner, since I'm looking right at it. So got a nice little tribute to my first chopper, and yeah, so we'll get to it. Just like that, we have a problem. I bought this, it says it's from Makuni. However, upon reading the label here, it's for Bendix, Zenith, canned butterflies. So anyhow, we're just gonna have to drill this in a couple places just to make it fit in these mounting holes. So no big deal, but you know, one thing we gotta do. Oh well. So we'll just mark a couple holes here. Bam, bam. I'm not a super big fan of these behemoth things. I know they were kind of all the rage back in the day, but the chrome is really all pitted up and peeling, so we're gonna go with this because I think it's cool. There we go. Done. Have to get a couple of bolts and plug them up. Kind of piddling here. I spoke a little too soon. I need this to mount the carburetor, so I'm just painting up a couple of bolts right down there for it, and we'll get that bolted back up, and we'll have a carb mount. So anybody who's about to bite my head off, my bad. Got this all bolted back in, ready to rock and roll. Clean up a little bit, and we'll move on to probably starting the bars. I think Buck has decided he's not going to be full abandon mode today, and he is going to come down here in a little bit. So we'll start. It needs riser bushing, something fierce. I don't know if you can see that, but it should not wiggle like that. And we'll try and get it all serviced up and ready to start up on Monday. And basically I want to have everything done except the starter and putting that exhaust pipe on, hopefully today. So now that I know I don't need to take the primary cover off to do the starter, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and service it. I got this Maxima Racing Oils kit. It's a whole service kit, transmission, primary, engine, filter, comes with everything. Seemed like a pretty good deal on eBay or Amazon, so just pop that cover off there, pull the O-ring out, go ahead and try and not make a giant mess here, which I probably will. Everything looks pretty good in there. Looks like there's some old oil in it, and just dump her on in there. My gasket's set, put a new O-ring in, put the cover back on, and away we shall go. And there we have it. My nice custom-made funnel, very expensive, hard to find. Can't get those anywhere. But if I had a starter, I'd freaking bump it over and hopefully recirculate some of it. But here's my starter, and here's the wrong starter. Well, so much for getting this on the road this weekend. Here's another conundrum we have found. This sits right here on the oil tank like the other one. But as you can see, it's self-clearanced enough to where she's leaking all over the side like that. So there's oil all over the pipe there. So I don't know if you know this, but oil and heat don't work. Not really such a good idea. I'm either gonna have to make a new one or see if I can find a generic one that works for this, but I don't know. Either way,
No, she's got compression.
Yep.
Lots of it.
All right, guys. So we ended up took the saddlebags off, took the little sissy bar off. We're gonna stick with those for now. The other ones I got, I think, are too skinny, but I think Buck's gonna do a poll and see what other people think, but I think they're too skinny. Got the air cleaner all done up, carburetor mounted. We're gonna try and get this wheel in, and yeah, that's about. We're gonna probably get a new seat for it for sure. It's just because this thing's like a rock, so we'll probably swap that out eventually, but for the time being. And so yeah, now we're just finishing up. We're gonna put some hardware on this fender bracket to fill up the holes for the saddlebag before we put the wheel on. So other than that, yeah, it ain't gonna run today, unfortunately. Waiting on parts.
That's how waiting looks like.
He's good at it. Got the new starter. It is probably the easiest starter in the world to replace. These two through bolts right here. I'll show you on the old one. That's the only thing that mounts this into the gear reduction. So if your gear reduction's fine, it's a super easy job. This is gonna be grounded right here, like that. And then there's a bracket that goes on here that helps hold this up, and there is your main power wire right there to the starter, and this just slides out. Slide the new one in, line the gear up. You'll have to kind of wiggle it around a little bit to get it to sit in there, and that is it. It just plops right out. So I did not see any videos of this particular starter replacement on the interwebs, but probably the easiest starter you can do for sure. So that's in. I got the new battery today, but I still don't have a new oil line, so I'm waiting on that to get here. I still got to figure out where exactly the pipe was rubbing on this, and figure out what I'm gonna have to do for clearancing there. I think it was the hose clamp that holds the heat shield on that rubbed through there, but we'll find out. Well, I think I might have found the last one. I don't know, maybe I didn't know how to search for it, but found what appears to be a new old stock from 1997 oil line. So it looks like it's gonna fit, it's gonna work. And that's pretty much the last part we needed. I'm still waiting on this stuff to come in, the new covers, which I'm not super sure that these new covers are gonna be very good. I think they're just plastic cheapies, but I'm gonna look for a better set, keep my eyes peeled for some actual Harley ones, but waiting on those to come in. But new oil line, unfortunately it's not chrome, so this winter I'll probably have this chromed, and that should be the last part we need. So we'll probably do a little time lapse, drain the transmission, bump it over, try and move some more oil up here and try and get that drained off a little bit more, put the pipe back on it, and try and fire it up tonight. Thank you. Are you Daddy's little helper? Oh yeah, she's ready to help. Thank you, Punky. We're gonna keep that put down for now, okay? Alright, so I got the new line on. I ended up having to massage this pipe a little bit, clearance this line, because I don't want to repeat of what happened last time. I cleaned it up quite a bit, but there's oil was just leaking all over it. There's where I had to massage her in a little bit. But I mean, oil was coming all the way down the pipe here. So get this cleaned up a little bit more before we bolt it on, and then we'll dump some oil in the engine and bolt the pipe back up and try and fire it up. I went to start it, and if you'll notice this little plunger, this is your accelerator pump. It's stuck down, so I wasn't getting any kind of an accelerator pump. I got a little bit. It's slowly starting to work out, but I'm gonna pull the bowl. Hopefully I don't destroy any gaskets. I also had to replace this fuel line because the fuel line started leaking on me, so there was that. But I did fire it with a little squirt bottle. I'm just gonna pull this little fuel plug right here, drain the gas out of there. That came out just fine, and it looks kind of dirty in there, so there's the O-ring for that. Probably replace that. So we'll pull the bowl, see what it looks like. So put a little bit of heat to this cylinder there that the accelerator pump popped right out. So clean that up and clean up some jets and clean up some float bowls here and get it up, put back together. So I've never done a Mikuni before. It's just four mounting screws that hold the bowl on. It comes right out, and there's a little vacuum line that's hard as a rock, so that'll probably break on me and leave me on the side of the road not running right, but that all seems pretty good in there. So I got the main jet cleaned up, cleaned out. It's nice and clear. Needle and seat are working great. Bowl's ready to go back on and try this again. I ain't got the choke on right now, so
All we gotta do is put one more doohickey on there to keep this from falling off. Reinstall the bezel and take it for a quick spin. Dude, that thing sounds like a bunch of guys just shooting guns through town. Wherever you went, just sounded like there was 7 of you.
She's fun.
That's crazy, man.
It's still sitting. I'm missing. That's why when I jump on it, there's a little bit of a hesitation because it's basically.
It's getting stuck a little bit.
Just gotta see it stays down.
Yeah.
It needs to come back up all the way, which now it is.
It looks like you almost lost your little rubber there.
Yeah, that's we're gonna have to find a OEM one because that's just not. That's not
gonna cut it. Yeah.
So.
But dude, look at it.
Uncle Ronnie, I hope you're not too mad that I made a few changes, but that seat fits me a lot better.
Oh yeah, it fits the bike a lot better too.
And thanks again. This is gonna be a lot of fun.